So we're about to watch a video from Ebonhardt. Your class doesn't matter in Season of Discovery. Let's see what's the opinion about this, because it's been a lot of talk about the classes becoming more and more with a lack of identity, and all of them becoming similar in Season of Discovery.
You don't want to play an overpowered class, you're probably lying and coping because your favorite class is just not that good. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to be the best, because it's simply human nature to want to be the best, the most awesome, the most wanted. And with so many people asking what the best class is, what they should play, how they can be the best, I'm here to tell you all the simple truth. You can't pick the best class. Not in Season of Discovery. This isn't the world.
Well, to be honest, that's debatable. I mean, if you pick a fire mage, you already won. If you pick a melee hunter, you already won. If you pick a mutilate rogue right now, you won. On the other hand, if you're playing a class like a warrior, what do you win with a warrior? That's my question. Let's see. Maybe there's more arguments, and we're too early to...
The Warcraft in the way that many people know or are used to. There isn't a predefined meta and balance that is set and done. You cannot just follow a guide because everything is data mined and revealed instantly. And yes, there is data mining, there always will be. But what is real and is coming out and what isn't is not yet determined or known. Not before the patch fully comes out at least. Phase 2 itself will not be completely data mined and discovered for a few more weeks. And then Phase 3 will be a whole new ordeal and process when it does come out. Thus, there is no way to pick a class and know that you are getting the best option for the phase within the first few weeks. Because most times for most of World of Warcraft's history and most of its versions, unless Blizzard egregiously fucks up, the meta is set and done. In Season of Discovery though...
Well, one thing is for sure, right? You don't know what to expect, even at the beginning of the phase, because a class becomes like too overpowered, Blizzard is going to nerf it. A class is not quite there, Blizzard is going to buff it. Like look at the Shadow Priest and so on. There's so many examples. I guess it doesn't really matter. Just play whatever you want, huh?
The devs are throwing darts at a board and saying, fuck that class this week in particular. Whether you'll wake up overpowered or underpowered is anyone's guess, and that makes the idea of balance that WoW players are used to essentially non-existent. And that's a goddamn phenomenal thing, because it lets you focus on what matters, the Season of Discovery. And SOD has players from every walk of life. You have boomers who have been playing for 20 years and their fingers have the same speed as their toes. You have 30-year-old millennials whose crowning achievement is how good they are at WoW, which is fucking sad. You have the other 30-year-old millennials who have 7 wives, 49 children, 15 jobs, and 3 seconds a week to play. And no matter what kind of player the audience is, the player base for World of Warcraft is dedicated and passionate. And WoW as it is has always been a game that has rewarded that playtime and dedication. And Season of Discovery has continued that tradition, but now it's forcing you to play in a way that most people haven't gotten to play for close.
Is this an add-on here? The raid frames? Because they look so neat, and it doesn't feel like it's just the default one. It feels like it's a bit... It's really great for a healer, the UI.
Closer to
that last one was you?
2 decades. You will know nothing, you don't get to find out anything, and you will find out what Daddy Agron will let you know. So be thankful and pray that your class is good. And so, as I said earlier, you can't pick the best class, not in Season of Discovery. Yet even if you can't pick the best class, in gaming, and especially in World of Warcraft, people want to play the current most overpowered class. Whether they get to pick it or not doesn't matter. They want personal affirmation that the class they're picking is good, so they don't feel like they've wasted their time and effort. Whether that's for personal satisfaction, status amongst other 30-year-old men because no woman gives a shit, or a simple desire to excel in the game and be the best of the best, there's a very deep allure to playing the most top tier class. Yet this is expected of the classic player base for the most part, with pass chasing, optimization over everything, GDKPs and things of that nature essentially coming second nature to the classic experience at this point in time. But thankfully GDKPs are now banned in Season of Discovery, and hopefully the rest of WoW as well in the future. But as people have said, the players will optimize the fun out of World of Warcraft because efficiency is better than fun, because fun is personal and efficiency can be flexed. So with all of that covered, the class you pick to play in Season of Discovery...
Exactly what we were talking about earlier. Efficiency over fun, man. Why do we choose that? It's because of the fear of missing out. If whenever a new phase is launched, if you don't play like 24 hours, it's like you're a rookie. Everyone, whenever a new phase is launched, I want to play for 24 hours. Why? Why do you want to do that? So you're not behind. You won't miss out on the opportunities. Yeah, I guess that's a good point. Like, listen, I'm talking. I haven't played on the launch. I haven't played. Like, I think I got level 40 after like the last day, and I did no more. It took me a while to get to 40. Remember? A couple of days. I didn't do it in one day like other people did.
Only doesn't.
And even in the phase 1 of Season of Discovery, I played casually. Phase 2, probably now at the beginning, I played a bit more because I have a couple of projects to work on, a couple of videos. But I'm going to promote from now on my channel, on my YouTube channel, on my main channel, on my second channel. I'm not going to promote fear of missing out anymore. I'm going to promote casual gameplay, how to enjoy the game more, what to do, things like that, and how to not spend 12 hours a day in a game anymore. Because in the long run, you're going to have more fun playing a couple of hours a day, 2 or 3. Today you're doing a normal raid. Tomorrow you're farming some gold. Tomorrow you're doing some PvP. And you only play a short amount of time, but on the long term, you're going to enjoy it more rather than playing 12 hours a day until you become miserable. That's not the way to play it.
Matter. I know, you want to find the best, but it truly doesn't exist in the same vein that it did in Classic and Retail, due to a few simple things: new raids, potentially new dungeons, old dungeon changes, new items, item changes, runes, class tunings, skill books, and more. And when you combine all these things, you cannot pick correctly. The number 1 class of Phase 1 didn't even get to stay the number 1 class of Phase 1. The Hunter drama was truly incredible due to them being the best, then getting nerfed, and figuring out another way to be the best to getting nerfed again, to that very same thing happening 2 more times before Hunter got knocked off its throne. It was still top 3 classes easily, but they didn't even get to stay as the most broken and OP class for the entirety of a singular phase. Whatever class you pick for Phase 2 will very likely not be the best class of Phase 2 for more than a few weeks. And then if you want to be the best class, you'd have to pick another class to level and then gear up. Now, if you're one of the few players who enjoy...
A good example for this was the Druid in Phase 2. How long they were OP for? 3 or 4 days? And then Blizzard kind of like destroyed Star Surge. I'm kind of exaggerating when I say destroy Star Surge because they gave them other things to play with. But Star Surge was like too OP. Even Druids knew it, man. They were like, whoa, this is not... Every day they were logging, they were like, whoa, this is not nerfed yet. Another day. All I hear is to play 8 different classes so I can always have the best. That's what you hear? Oh boy. I play 2 classes and I also have a Paladin. So I play Mage and Hunter, but I also have a Paladin. So Paladin I kind of gave up on him. I don't have time to play it.
Enjoys leveling alts, this isn't a super big problem. And level 40 isn't even a very high level to achieve anyway, so this isn't super difficult even if it is time consuming. But with Phase 3 and then Phase 4, this doesn't even count Phase 5, which will likely be Molten Core and Onyxia. I just don't see how it's possible to have the best class for Season of Discovery. Wait, I do. Your favorite class is the best pick. You simply can't go wrong with it. Due to runes and the very core and integral changes to Classic WoW Season Discovery, every single class will get its time in the sun. Whether you're a Boomkin, a Shadow Priest, a Retribution Paladin, or any of the other specs that had a terrible experience in the original Classic, you will get your time to shine. Because runes have already made all of these classes.
You know what's weird? With the new runes, every class has huge potential on almost everything. We just are not able to see it yet because now you can have 5 runes, guys, which changes entirely the way a class is played. With the Hunter right now, you can play like 4 or 5 specs which are viable for raiding, are viable for PvP. They're even viable for solo farming dungeons. Like Hunters can solo clear a Cathedral, Hunters can solo clear like massive pools of Uldaman and so on. Playing Survival or playing Beast Mastery with a pet or playing Marksmanship, everything is viable. So when people play multiple classes, and it happens to me as well, you don't get enough time to really delve deep into one class and figure out all the potential specs and which one is going to be the best and so on. Try to even be the one who discovers a specific spec. Like Mage, for example, right now at level 14 PvP, there's a one-shot spec with Arcane Barrage, deep into Arcane. There's a Fire spec, there's a potential Frost Firebolt spec, And all of them have their uses, right? And there's also like the deep frost PvP, which I haven't even seen people playing with ice barrier and so on. The options are like crazy, and the more classes you play, the less you have it available to be able to test all those specs, I guess.
Is viable and worth bringing. They might not be the best now, but boom
went
from being useless to being PvP menaces and being able to stay toe-to-toe with better casters, and that's simply phase 1. With more gear, more runes, and more scaling, every class will be able to perform and bring something to the raid and to the content. There are simply no bad classes. Though I would like to say
Listen, I don't even know why I have ad block, because I have YouTube Premium and it's whitelisted. I don't know why my ad block got updated. I have YouTube Premium and whitelisted, so I'm a content creator. Listen, which YouTube channel is that? This is Ebonhardt. Ebonhardt. I'm gonna give you a link to the video, okay?
There's one caveat to there being no best class in Season of Discovery, and this is the only caveat I can think of, is that if you're going after the world first race or a challenge or PvP. In these kinds of circumstances and scenarios, whilst every class will be viable, some classes will bring an extra 2% DPS, healing, or an extra 4% utility or survivability, and these small things added up across a 10-man, 25-man, or 40-man raid experience are actually important. But even in this context, it's not so much the class as it is the players using that class to 100% of its capability to go for a world first experience. But that's less than 1% of the player base. Far less than that, honestly. So for the vast majority of players who aren't even playing their own classes to their best ability and utility, the only right choice is to pick the fun class, which is your favorite class. Getting back onto the point and the core message of this whole video, Season of Discovery is about fun. It's about discovery. It's about drive. It's about power. We stay hungry, we devour. No. For real, it's about enjoying your time in Azeroth and playing the game and enjoying the spirit of classic WoW. To also be fair, it's 10-man content, it's really not difficult, and it's meant to be completed by everyone. The bar for completing content is pretty low at the moment. There's not much skill expression required. If you're genuinely struggling with 10-man content, I don't know what to say except how. Nonetheless, by focusing on the meta or chasing the meta or little things that strip the fun out of the game, you strip the fun out of the experience. Because you're mining for something that doesn't exist, at least not in this version of World of Warcraft. The core point of Classic WoW is easy content that allows you to focus on the world, on the community around you, and on the game. The difficulty in Classic WoW mostly comes from getting people together in a cohesive manner. Organization and community management are the real endgame bosses of Classic. If you really want difficult content to the point of pointlessness, try Retail WoW. To put it in dancing metaphors, Classic WoW is your slow waltz. For retail, they're going to learn how to break dance and battle rap at the same time. So to summarize, ignore the meta, pick what's fun, because what's fun won't change, but the meta definitely will, and it will constantly change. But hey, maybe I'm simply ranting and being self-righteous, completely missing the point of people who min-max games like Season of Discovery and Classic. Who knows? Thank you.
It's kind of weird with min-maxing. Someone in the chat said earlier, Frost, what do you think about Blizzard buffing the drop chance of green and crusted salvages? So that's a very good example. People that min-maxed got punished. They spent like 300 gold to craft their helmets, their epic helmets, and now Blizzard decided to nerf the amount of gold that will cost by increasing the chances, right? So people that min-max kind of get punished in a way. I don't know. Seems good. Great video from Ebonhardt. It's a good point. Your class doesn't matter, although it's a lot of rambling, but I too do some sort of videos like this, so I know exactly what... It's really hard to squeeze content out of Classic. So he managed to do a great job. I really like it. Give a like. And there's a link right here in the chat if you want to go and see the video. Bada boom, bada bum. By the way, make sure to like and subscribe on this YouTube channel. And stay frosty. Bye-bye.